What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XCN OnyxCoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are at 1 cent, you guys. One whole penny right now. You're getting a very, very cheap OnyxCoin at these prices. I need to refresh my memory. What is OnyxCoin's market cap right now? 353 million, 92 million in volume. That's insane, man. Number 122 in the rankings. It was just 121. It just dropped to 122. It got overtaken. 351 million. That is a lot of room for growth, you guys. We have a lot of room to grow. Absolutely. We could come down a little bit as well. With this amount of volume, pressing behind this overall move, I think that we could sustain lower prices if we wanted to. I'm not expecting that we do. I am expecting that we find support here or maybe just a little bit lower. But if we look at this relative low here to this relative high, we're right above the golden ratio right there. Generally speaking, when you look at something like this, you do expect to interact with the golden ratio. And being at that it's at 1.025 cents, 1 cent psychological support area, I would think we find support there. If we take this relative low to high here, also your 1.886 level is right there. I don't know. I would think that we find support somewhere relatively in this area. Again, it's very common when you reach for the golden ratio in this kind of way that you would at least interact with it. But XCN sometimes does get front ran. Sometimes there is enough buying pressure. And hey, to be fair, that's a good bit of volume. Where's the volume? Right there. Good bit of volume for the market cap. 26.4%. That's a large amount. That could be buying pressure. If it's selling pressure, however, we might have lower to go, and in which case the next fib areas, right? If you go below the 1618, the next fib areas are what we should consider, which are all the way down at 0.00911. That would be some very, very explosive price action down there. 0.00866 could also be the area that we find support at. I would anticipate that we do not break below this area here at I swear it was 0.0083. It's 0.0082. Was it the closing low? It was the closing low, 0.00833. If we go a little bit below that, I guess that's fine too. But I would be very surprised if we went below this consolidation phase here. I would be very surprised if we did, especially in one fell swoop, right? Like if we were to do that, if we were to do it at all, we would find support, come back up, find a lower high, and then it would be more obvious that we're going to break below it, right? But just one fell swoop, I don't see it happening, man. I personally don't see it happening. It's like this, right? If we go back and we look at where we found resistance on a closing, on a closing basis. You go back here, we didn't just break through this line in one fell swoop. It took us some time. You found support, you went up. We really thought that we did break out of this downtrend. Things were looking good. We had volume, everything was in the right places, but the market wasn't ready to move up, so XCN followed suit with the rest of the market. It took us some time. It took us some time to break through this level. I would think it would also take us some time to break through this level. We wouldn't do it on one fell swoop. Or if it did happen in one fell swoop, it would likely be a fake out, scares everybody, and right below would be the most prime buying opportunity. But again, I'm not assuming that we do that. That would be like another 30% drop from here. And XCN has bled a lot, man. I think it's on a massive discount. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's thinking it's at a massive discount. I'm having to hold myself back, man, from buying more at these levels. But genuinely, if I had to guess, if you want me to just say it, I think, I might be cursing us here, you guys. You guys are like, don't say it, C-Zar. Yeah, I think we're at the low. I think the low. Hey, and there we go. We're green now. I think we're at the low. I think that was it. Now, does that mean that it's time to party and that we're going through the roof right now? Probably not. Maybe. You never know. This thing can move up pretty fast. It moves down very slow, but it moves up very fast. You never know. But I am assuming that it's a cause for celebration to some degree, right? We don't know if it's the low. It's not confirmed yet. I'm assuming it's the low. I'm calling for this to be the low, and as accurate as I've been throughout this whole range, calling every single low and every single high to a T, right? That's a joke, right? That's definitely not what's happened. I could very well be wrong again, right? But as my friends like to say, even a blind squirrel finds his nuts sometimes. If we look at this overall on a daily basis, or maybe even a weekly basis, 3-day basis, we are in a very, very profound bull flag. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. Where we found support here, if we go back, first off, we're in the land of the rising sun. It will keep us from going into darkness. We're also at the base of this little platform back here in the overall descent down that XCN had throughout its beginning phase of its lifetime. Finding support here. Very, very key areas to find support. It wouldn't surprise me in the least, you guys, at all, if this was it. If that was what we did, that was the low there. If we look at this on a 3-day time frame, our RSI is also at a point literally right here at the same point that we found support. Now here's the deal. Here's the deal. The RSI is convincing as well that we'd find support. It's another thing that agrees with what we're saying here, but it's not confirmed yet. We'd have to have a 3-day candle close here in order to validate this as support. If a 3-day candle is red, then we're going to be closing below this line, right? It's not. It looks like support now, but it's not confirmed until we get a close. We have 2 days and 23 hours until the next 3-day candle. With that in mind as well, if over the next 2 days, 23 hours, we move down, we could still come back up, have a crazy wick, a fake out that psychs a lot of people out, capitulates people at the very end who are holding out for 1 cent, the psychological area to hold, and I think it does. And then once that happens, by that last day, by the last hours of this 3-day candle, we could move back up, close it green or neutral, and still have this bounce off this area, even if for a time it looks like we're below this line, okay? I hope that makes sense. But there's a lot of things agreeing with finding support here. Another one that's pretty crucial in my opinion is this overall fib from a low here. What just happened? What just happened? Low to high right here. We have gone. Oh, okay. I thought we were at the 382, but we're a little bit below the 382. It's okay. Maybe I was taking it from this low here. That's what it was. Okay, yeah. Because that's the low. I mean, this is the low right before this move, but I don't know. Depending on how you look at it, I was probably looking at it on the weekly time frame. That's what it was. Yeah. Maybe I even took it from this low here, because you're basically right at that 382. I don't know. It depends. It depends on how you would draw it. I feel like I'm cherry picking to pull it back this far, to be completely fair. This seems more appropriate on a daily time frame. It makes sense why you would take it from this low as well. But I think, tomato, whatever, whether you're just below the 382 here, whether you're just below it here, this is often an area that you do look to find support. But I guess it would make more sense. I suppose it would make a good bit of sense even to take it from here, but whatever. If we do go lower, you guys, 0.0075 could be the area that we slip to, but I don't think that we go that low. Let's see if we're looking at this on a daily time frame. Daily time frame is oversold. Generally speaking, when you get oversold, that tends to indicate that you have more to go. When it doesn't indicate it, would be just like this, or just like this, where you get into the oversold zone, but then immediately get out of it, okay? So we need today to not just close green or neutral, we need to get out of the oversold zone. We need to see a nice kind of move out, because here, if we look at this kind of situation here, it had been some time since we've been oversold. We finally got oversold on this day here. Oh, actually, hey, we went right back up. Let's see, all the way back here. To be completely fair, actually, this is a good example, I suppose. We got it oversold, and then out of it the next day, we stopped going lower. Did we move up immediately? No, because we still were hovering in the oversold zone, but got out of it immediately. That's actually a good signal that we aren't ready to go lower yet. Inevitably, of course, we did go lower. Of course we did. But I was trying to find an example of where you persisted going down. Maybe this will be one. Maybe by the end of this, we'll have an example of that. And if that's the case, then if we do continue to go lower from here, you guys, it's not just a matter of price, but it would be a matter of time. If we are to go lower from here, if we do not get a day to close back above, out of the oversold zone by the end of today, within the next 23 hours or so, how much time would it be? 22 hours, 23 minutes. Wow, I've already been making videos for like an hour. That's crazy. If we don't get that today, then likely the weeks ahead, maybe not even weeks, but I should say a week to 2 weeks, yeah, the weeks ahead would be bearishly inclined. That doesn't mean that we're going to just move down straight for 2 weeks. That's not what that means, but that could mean that we have another 2 weeks of chop to the downside, and that kind of price action, maybe it takes us to slightly lower lows. Maybe it does take us down here. It's discouraging whenever that kind of stuff happens, but we might end up seeing inevitably a kind of turning in price. Instead of being a solid downtrend, it might kind of round itself out, and that could be an indication that we are ready to move up as well. But who knows? We'll see. I guess we'll see by the end of today. We're looking for a move in the next 22 hours and 22 minutes that will take us. You'd probably have to get, if I had to guess, not too much higher. You'd probably just have to close above like 1.15 cents. You'd probably, something, you'd have to close above this daily close here, or maybe even a little bit higher than that. But something that gets you out of the overbought zone, I think, is very pertinent on this, or very, very important for this low to be considered valid, right? Beyond that, man, I really went off the rails there trying to just talk about this exact thought, is that we're trying to validate this as the low. Beyond that, the first step to getting to validating this as a low is we need to get back above 1.5 cents. To be very fair, actually, it's 1.51 cents. 1.511 cents. If technically 1.513 cents. If we can do that, we don't even have to close above there. We just have to get above there. If we can do that, that'll not validate this as a low, but it'll start to really seem like it is a low, or the low. To validate this as a low, what we would need to do, I believe, is break this downtrend. Okay, break this downtrend here and get above the 382. Getting above it is nice, but actually what I should have said is close above it. So what we need there is basically a close above 1.9 cents, 1.897 to be specific. But I think 1.9 cents, if we can close above there on a daily time frame, that would very much validate this as a low, in my opinion. To completely validate it, we got to get above the golden ratio. That's all the way at 2.7 cents. But again, by that time, we will be so far away from this downtrend that I don't think it's necessary. Normally, the fibs, the golden ratio is a good way to validate the low, but I don't think it's necessary here. And another fib that we have, actually, going back to the beginning of this move overall, right, from the low here to the high, would be the 236. And that 236 is at 2 cents. So whether you want to say 1.9 cents, 2 cents, it's more or less in the same area. Getting back above 2 cents, I suppose, would be more crucial in my genuine opinion. Getting above there would be nice. To validate this as a low. So that's what we need to see. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I do think this is the low, but I don't know if it's the low. Everything we've just talked about will validate and enable us to know, quote unquote, that this is the low. I did this to the camera. Hold on, I went like no, and then I saw the camera was off, so I had to give the quotes again. There was something I was going to say, but I keep getting lost in my shenanigans. Oh yeah, alongside with the fact that the daily RSI would bounce right out of the oversold zone, alongside the fact with the 3-day time frame bouncing out the same area, we need sustained growth, not just a day. We need sustained growth, and hopefully over the next 3 days we do see something that takes us above 1.5 cents, above 1.9 cents, and hopefully ideally above 2 cents as well. That would do it for me. That would very much convince me that we are done moving lower, that we are breaking out of this trend. And if this is a bull flag, which we assume it to be, that would imply very heavily that we are on our way, you guys. We're on our way to prices that are above 20 cents. That's what the measure move is, and that's all the way at 21.4 cents. If we take the high here and we put it at the low right there, the 1,886,200 area, that is a perfect area to stop at, okay? The last area that we stopped at was our 2618, but as we go lower, that 2618 gets higher. I remember when that 2618, you guys, it was at like 40 cents, and even that was impossible seeming, you know, but even still something that we could entertain. I don't think 60 cents, sure, I would love it. I would love it if 60 cents happened, but I don't think we're going to get that. To me, the most logical area would be 23 cents to 19.4 cents as a given maximum, 13 cents as a given minimum. Anything below, I don't accept as a likelihood. I accept as a possibility. But I would very much expect that we are at 10 cents above that, 13 cents above that, and likely somewhere around, if not above, new all-time highs. Yeah. That's all I got. Nothing's changed, right? We're just a little bit lower in price. Volume is dying off, you guys. It's non-existent, right? We literally have some of the lowest levels of volume that we've seen throughout this whole move. It's happening now, okay? We're at the low points. The time to buy is here. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I know. Buy the dip with what, right? Like that meme. But if you don't have any capital left to throw into this thing, there's nothing wrong with sitting on your hands and just waiting, right? Again, I said this earlier today, and I'll say it again. Even if you bought, I actually didn't say this exact thing, but I want to turn it up a notch, because I said if you bought in this area, eventually it's going to be a good price. It might not feel like it now, but it will be a good price. But even if you bought the absolute high, which I'm sure anybody that did probably panic sold by now, but even if you bought at 5 cents, by the end of this move, you're going to feel good about that price. By the end of this move, 5 cents will provide a 4x or more. That's what I'm expecting, let alone from what we're at here, right? I think that you're about to experience some crazy growth in a very short amount of time. I expect this move to reach full maturity sometime in April, if not, maybe even by the end of March. End of March, C-Zar, that's 21 days from now, or that's 20 days from now. Don't you know that that's like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks? Yeah, I do know that. And we moved up in 2 weeks' time last time. We saw a 20x, so we could definitely do that again. I'm not saying that we do. In fact, I actually would expect this next move is longer. If this was 2 weeks, I expect the next one to be 4 to 6 weeks long, which would put us at some point in April. But you never know. Who knows, man? Maybe it's stronger. Maybe it happens in 1 week. I don't know. But I'm thinking that we do move up to those areas at some point here pretty soon. I think that was the low. Only time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Persevere, my friends. We are at the precipice of greatness. Don't screw it up now, man. I know it's hard. I know it's hard on your emotions. I know it's hard on your psychological well-being at times, but just be patient. Be patient. I've been through this. I guess I'm going to keep talking. I've been through this with 3 bull cycles now. This is my 3rd bull cycle. Not through this with XCN, right? XCN hasn't existed for that long, but through this exact situation where people begin to doubt, right? You probably are aware of it, right? You as your first time in the crypto markets, maybe it's your second time in the crypto markets, second cycle, maybe it's your 3rd cycle like me, or your 4th cycle even. You've been through this before, or if not, this is your first time going through it, where you might be the crazy crypto friend. You might be the person that's trying to indoctrinate all the people that you know into crypto. Maybe you're not, maybe you're more quiet about it, but at this point, this is the point in the cycle where people laugh at you, they ridicule you, they're like, oh yeah, how's crypto going? They feel good about themselves for not investing, not listening to you, or even worse, they feel bad about themselves. They feel like they shouldn't have listened to you. You feel like you shouldn't have talked about it, right? There's all these emotions, and I'm not saying that I feel that. I'm just saying my very first bull cycle, I know how those feelings are. This is normally that point, you guys, where the disbelief is so high, right? It's that crucial turnaround point, and it doesn't persist. Even if this was a bear market, and it's not, I'm not entertaining that thought at all. Actually, I suppose I'm entertaining it now, but I don't accept it as a possibility. I don't think that. But even if it was a bear market, things don't move down in straight lines. We're going to have some kind of recovery, and the recovery for XCN here, even in your worst nightmares, if we weren't to see a new relative high, we would still probably see a move that results in a 3x or more at the very least from these prices, right? But I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't even know why I'm considering that or even talking about that right now. I'm just trying to entertain both sides, right? There's 2 sides of every coin. You got to look at both of them if you want the whole picture. But this is the point. I've been through this before where people doubt you. Your own mother will doubt you. Your friends, your grandparents, your boss at work, they will laugh at you. They'll doubt you. They'll think that you're crazy. And this is the point where you hone it, man. You own it. You suck it up. You let your nuts hang low. If you're a chick, you let whatever else you got hang low. You probably I don't know what example to use with that. You know, it's 2025. You could get a pair and let them hang low if you really wanted to, I suppose. But what I'm trying to say here, to the boys and to the girls, this is the moment where you're either about it, you either have conviction in your plays, or you're just a tourist and you're scared and you're fearful and you're gone with the wind, right? This is the difference, because the people that come out on top, the people that wait and are patient for what's to come, you will be the people. You'll become the people that when people doubted you, they're now going to look at you as if you know you're someone to turn to for information, right? Whenever we start pumping, and unfortunately that's how it's going to be. People don't want to hear you talking about crypto while it's at the lows. They're only going to want to hear you talking about it whenever it's at the highs. But it's going to validate not just you, but your whole narrative to a bunch of the people that are aware of what you're doing in crypto. I don't know, man. I'm trying to talk about it, and I feel like I'm not talking about it in the best way, but I've been here before is really all I'm trying to say, man. This is not the first time that I've been shrouded in disbelief or doubt or people calling me delusional, any of that stuff, man. It's not the first time. It's not, and I don't even doubt myself on this, man. I don't have any doubts. Again, there's no hopes at all. I will be celebrating whenever we pump. I absolutely will, but I'm not going to be like celebrating as if I just escaped death, because this is something that we knew was going to happen. Of course, we're going to celebrate whenever the prices are high, but it's inevitable at this point. What's not inevitable is that this thing's going to go to zero, right? It's not going to go to zero. It's in a very tight phase of consolidation. This bull flag is perfect. It's literally perfect. And this is where conviction really, really comes to play. I feel like I really, in my head, had a better idea of how I was going to say this last part, but I can't seem to find the right words. This is where the boys and the girls become men and ladies, I suppose, is the best way to say it, and I should have ended it there. So hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.